Hey, my name is RedBlockss and welcome back to another episode of Redstone with Red. And oh my god, is this an exciting feeling. I don't know if you guys have noticed this or not, but over the course of the series, I've been hyping up this topic in general really subtly. But boy oh boy does it feel good. We finally at a point of the series where I can talk about the long anticipated topic of the series, Piston Door. So I know it's been a long time coming, but it really feels good to be finally at a point of the series where I can discuss to you guys the basics of piston doors. Now, in my opinion, piston doors are probably the only and probably the most, enjoyable and at the same time differentiable redstone contraption there ever is. So there's a lot of ways you can make a piston door. There's pretty much infinite ways because there's pretty much infinite ways to play Minecraft, so piston doors are basically the same. And at the same time, there's a lot of mechanics that go on behind a piston door. So yeah, piston doors are definitely my favorite, but obviously the other redstone contraptions are good, but it's just my opinion that piston doors are at the best. And I really am feeling good that I can finally teach you guys that how you can make piston doors for yourself and learn about piston doors yourself. Now, you see, piston doors are a really expanded topic, and if I even started to do all of the piston door stuff in one episode, it would probably honestly be 2 hours long, and yeah, probably none of you probably will be watching this video. So what I've decided to do is that I'm going to be splitting up the piston door content into 3 different videos. This is the first video of the series, and honestly, the sound of having 3 different videos of my favorite redstone contraption, that sounds good to me, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. Now, in terms of the topics, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the basics of piston doors, what piston doors are, the main principles of all of the piston doors, and all of the different variables of 2x2 piston doors. So we're going to be covering all the 2x2 piston door stuff in today's video, but in the next video, we're going to be talking about bigger piston doors, but not including that beautiful green block just behind me. And the third video, I'm going to keep that a secret because that's going to be the most exciting video of the series. So I'm just going to keep shut about that. But you see, in terms of the rundown, we actually are missing something because you see, I derped up a little bit and my buffoon head forgot to put this in one of the gadgets video because we are actually missing one of the biggest gadgets in terms of piston doors. Gladly, like we're only using one of the piston doors in today's video, but yeah, the gadget that I'm talking about is really essential in terms of the next videos. So we're going to be covering that in a mini episode coming up after this one. But with all that being said, as always, there's going to be timestamp down in the description for you to check out if you want to check out any specific rundown of the 2x2 piston doors and normal piston doors in general. But with that being said guys, let's jump into today's episode. Before we take a look at piston doors, let's take a look at doors. So doors, basically what they are a wall that prevents you from accessing the other side of that wall as long as the door is shut. Now you see here, this door is actually controlled by my hand, and even if it was an iron door, I basically would just have to press this lever to activate it. Now you see, on the other hand, piston doors are also the same thing, but piston doors are more primarily maintained by pistons. So in terms of a piston door, what it has to have is that, first of all, you have to have some pistons connected to some blocks that blocks off a passageway that leads you to another place. So here you can see that these pistons are extended, meaning that this hallway to the other side of that wall is actually blocked off. So that's the definition of a door completed. But as soon as I step on these pressure plates or this lever, which by the way, you don't have to have both of them connected into a piston door, but just for demonstrative purposes, I did both of them. So if I flick this lever, you can see that both of those pistons actually retract that block. So meaning that if you actually want to build a piston door, you actually have to rely on sticky pistons, not normal pistons. I know usually in Redstone, everything is suggested by their name, but here, it actually is missing the sticky NS name. So basically, all of the piston doors are mentioned by a sticky piston, but some of them actually do require a piston. Now, you can see over here, we can obviously walk through this door, but you see in terms of a lever situation, I actually have to turn that off so that it can do its stuff over there. And even if I just walked over this pressure plates, it will do the same basic thing. And see, the things that are happening are down the ground. Basically what is happening is that the powering of these two power sources are actually powering these redstone dust, meaning that these redstone torches get inverted, meaning that they get into these pistons, these pistons actually go into extend mode, and they extend their block out to block the signal. Now when you power this redstone dust, it actually turns that redstone torch off, so meaning that the power is not going into these pistons, meaning that they do not extend, or in other words, they retract, giving you a way through. Now there's a lot of ways you can connect up that powering to your pistons, and that is the reason why piston doors are really extensive. Now hopefully you guys actually caught all of that, because I know this was a really big clip, but I really hope that I made clear what piston doors are. Again, if you didn't understand, you can go back and slow that video down. That probably won't help, but then again, what else can I help you with? So yeah, that's basically it. Let's move on to the actual 2x2 piston doors to give you guys a better example. But first, a word from our sponsors, My PC. Hey buddy, it's your time to say. You have anything to say to these lovely people? Oh, you actually do? Alright, let me put it in. Oh, look at you being an absolute bro. Oh, come here, you logical buffoon. Anyways, make sure you follow what our sponsor says. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Again, this video was sponsored by My PC. This video would not be possible without their help. Anyways, back to the video. Alright, starting us off, you have yourself the exact piston door that you saw over there. But you see on here, you're using redstone that you can see above ground, and you're also using only one input, meaning that it's a lot more compact and a lot more easier to look at. Now you see, this is probably the most easiest redstone that you're gonna get for any piston door ever. So basically what's happening is that both of these levers are pulling into this redstone line, which is basically connecting all of the pistons up. So when the redstone comes to this one, this block is being powering this piston, and this redstone is powering this piston. Same happening on this side. And if we just power this lever, as you can see over here, the door closes up. Now you see I forgot to put in the inverter for pretty much all the doors except from the final one, because then I just remembered, oh wait, an inverter would have been nicer. So yeah, we're just gonna deal with the fact that it closes when you open it, but yeah, basically the same thing. If I just put in a redstone torch, it will do the thing that we want. Really simple one, this one. And if you actually want to build a piston door like without being too complicated, this one is definitely the one for you. From the easiest to the hardest, that transition does not make sense at all, but we are going to stick with it. All right. So this one is the most complicated one on our list, but actually this is not that complicated if you listen to me carefully. So this one is known as the flush with the wall piston door. So if I just power it on, as you can see over here, these 4 blocks pop out, and if I just made myself a wall over here, it would be completely flush, and you could not be able to see anything apart from a wall. And if you just turn it back on again, as you can see over here, it opens up, and we can just walk through it. Now you can see there's a little bit more exposed redstone on this one, but to be honest with you, the things that you get from this piston door are definitely worth the exposed redstone, at least as much there are. So with all that being said, let's just get into the nitty-gritty of the redstone. So when you power this lever on, basically what happens is that all of this redstone actually turns on immediately, but you see these 2 redstone dust are actually going to these couple of pistons, which power immediately because there's no delay involved, which pull down these 2 redstone blocks, powering these 2 redstone dust, which does not do anything yet, but they just stay, powered. After that, these 2 repeaters turn on 4 ticks later because they are set on 4 ticks of delay. After that happens, this block powers, and that basically powers all of that piston and this piston. you can't actually see both of them from the same side, but basically if I just demonstrate how the pistons are laid out, you can get a better idea. So as you can see over here, this is basically the layout of the pistons. You can't really see it because of the redstone, but these two pistons are connected to this one. So basically what happens is that when the redstone actually activates for this one, these two, they actually turn on behind these two, if I can actually get to them. All right, so they actually turn on over here, but you see they do nothing because they're besides nothing. So after the vortex, these four actually extend. So these two these two pistons actually get pushed in front of these two redstone dust, which actually power these two, and the redstone dust that comes from the top actually powers this top one over here. So after all that happens, as you can see over here, these two extend because, as you can see over there, I'm just going to demonstrate it with one. This one extends, pulling that one over there, and this one is already powered. So meaning that it already powers up, meaning that it gets extended. Hopefully all of that makes sense. I really hope that made sense, because I tried my best to keep everything really easy to understand. But actually, we're not that completely done. I actually forgot to mention one more thing. So you see, the reason why we are actually doing this bit first, because what you would think that is that these two are actually extending last. These two, I'm actually not extending both of them, but these two are extending the last. So why do we need to power the bottom redstone dust first? You see, the thing is that if I take a look at over here, you can see that basically this is the situation which happens. So here we have ourselves two extended pistons, and these are the back pistons which should retract these two pistons. Now you see, extended pistons are actually immovable blocks. So meaning that if I actually retract both of these pistons, as you can see, they actually do not stick to that piston. So meaning that even if I try like a million times, these pistons will not be retracted unless these are turned off. So basically, we are powering these two redstone dust first, so that these two retract first, and after that we can retract this one. Am I making any sense? Hopefully I am. I'm really trying my best to keep it as simple as I can, but you see, it's more about just keeping it in your head. As soon as you try to put them in words, it gets a little bit more complicated. But yeah, as soon as these two retract, these two pull them back, and as you can see over here, all of that step happens. I'm gonna do it 2 times so that you can get a clear vision as it happens. As you saw over there, these two retracted first and those two retracted second. And here's another opening sequence one last time so that you can get a better idea. As you saw over there, those redstone blocks popped down first. These got extended, and those two extended after being extended. Hopefully, again, that makes sense. Now we are going to move on to the more simpler ones than this one. Moving on to the next one, we have ourselves a thing and a topic, which is actually a topic of the next video. But if you guys can understand what I'm going to explain now, you guys are probably going to have a better time in the next episode, because your mind won't just start melting as soon as I say anything. So here we have ourselves a piston door, which redstone is completely underground. Yeah, you see, I did that cut because there's actually a name for a piston door with all of its redstone underground, but you see, I forgot the name of it. So I'll let you guys know if I come around to remembering it. But if any of you redstone people know the name of the piston door, definitely let me know down in the comment section. Anyways, that's not the important part. So let's actually get to the important part of this redstone door. So as you can see over here, this piston door is actually reliant on what is called a slime block piston extender. So basically what is happening here is that when we power this lever over here, that redstone comes to these two repeaters over here, which are connected to these two sticky pistons. But you can see that this repeater is actually not powering this sticky piston. That will only happen when this bottom sticky piston actually extends. So that happens at 3 ticks. So even if this is 1 tick, this will fire first, but this will not do anything because this piston is not being powered because it's over here and not over here. So 3 ticks later, this piston will extend, and that piston will actually extend this sticky piston because this is actually connected to the slime blocks. It will get extended, be pulled in front of this repeater. It will also extend, meaning that these 4 blocks will be extended 4 blocks above, which we like because that is the height where our door needs to be. And then when we, depower this lever, this thing will obviously retract first. As you saw over there, you cannot retract a extended piston, so that will retract first, and then this piston will retract the whole thing, pulling it down all the way. So if I do give you guys an example, as you saw over there, that's how it closes, and this is how it opens. Really cool stuff, and it's honestly the most compact redstone of all of us. Probably apart from that one that is literally redstone dust, but still this is really interesting. And also keep in mind, this is just not useful for the next episode. This is also useful for I'm not gonna tell you guys actually that. Anyways, and moving into the final door, this is actually literally the same thing as that one. As you can see over here, if you pay close attention, you'll notice that this is pretty much the same thing flipped horizontally. So here you have yourself 2 pistons. This is actually connected to the first one on 3 ticks, and this is connected to the top one, but it's actually not powering on 1 tick. That seems a little bit more familiar to that one, and it's basically the same thing. And basically the other things that we have here is just for that English. I cannot talk about it. Anyways, what I was saying is that we have this redstone torch here just because that we wanted to actually open when we power it. So it actually works as in a normal piston door, unlike all of these ones which when you power it, actually shuts in front of my face, which does not sound like a good idea to me. So basically it is basically that door flipped horizontally. As you can see over here, it slides in from the wall and it also slides away from the wall. Now you see here we actually have to have obsidian. That's because if these were any movable objects, it will actually get dragged along with this door. So unfortunately, yes, these have to be movable objects, but you see, your only options are not only normal obsidian, you also have the freedom to use crying obsidian or any type of terracotta. There's a lot of variants for you to choose to, so hopefully that is not that big of a problem. But with all of that being said, guys, that was all of the piston door mechanics, piston door principles, and all of the 2x2 piston door variants, which at least I think you guys should know, apart from the really quirky ones, which I'll let you guys find out for yourself. If you guys learned something new and enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you guys want to stick around for more episodes by me and more videos by me in general, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. But with all of that being said, guys, I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.